All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Baxter County Roundtable. This is episode 23. It's kind of amazing that we have made it this far. Still have people coming to visit us. Tonight, we had two guests, but one canceled. So Bob Nault is going to be our main guest, I guess. And
Well,
if you're running for
District 7 JP
District 7 JP.
for the Quorum Court
For
reelection.
Quorum Court. Okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
Well, my name's Bob Nault, and I'm JP of District 7 on the Quorum Court, running for reelection. I moved here about 42 years ago, roughly. Started the business with my father-in-law. Actually sold it to him, and I went to work for Baxter County Road and Bridge. Worked for there 20 years, retired, and got back into the system and gonna run again.
So, what can you tell us about the process so far for you to
The
to get?
process so far was it's a learning curve. There's a lot to know, and like I was brought to my attention, there is a book about JPs, and I would recommend that a person would actually get it and read it.
Now, this is your second
This is actually,
second go around.
I've been in office for 11 months and running again.
Oh,
It's only
okay.
a 2-year term, so the turnaround is you're automatically seem like you're running all the time.
Oh, okay. Do you have anything interesting as far as accomplishments go? Any high points?
Well, right now, there's nothing going on. We had some issues earlier on different things, but that's all water underneath the bridge. And
So, how about things coming up? Do you have anything to report there?
no, no, not really. Everything's going pretty smooth right now. I know they moved the meeting to December 1st instead of the second Tuesday because there's something going on with the judge, and he asked all the quorum court members if we could move it to the first Monday, which would be the first, I believe, and it'd be at 5:30.
Okay. Can you tell us when the primary election, or I mean the not the primary, help me out here. The primaries, yeah.
Primary
When are
is
the
March the 3rd.
primary?
March the 3rd.
March the
And I
3rd.
think it's February 16th is
Yeah,
early
it's 2
voting.
weeks prior to that starts early voting.
Voting, yes.
And all voting will take place at the Methodist Church, just like the last two
Yes, sir.
elections have.
Yes, sir.
And what's involved in the early voting? Where is that gonna take place
It's
there
gonna
also?
take place there also.
Okay.
That is the single voting place, polling place for early election, or early voting.
And also well, we'll address that later. But so, do you have any regrets as far as any business you've had to deal with
No,
here?
no,
or-
no regrets at all. I really enjoy it and love talking to the people. And that's where a lot of times I get my issues is getting phone calls. Of course, everybody knows you get phone calls
Right.
and bringing it to the court and we talk about it, just try to discuss it and then we kind of go on with it.
You know, one of the things is, I know when I first moved here, I was not really aware of all the way the quorum court operates. Once I found that JP manual, which is actually much more than a JP manual, it actually articulates how the Arkansas local government functions. Everything from the quorum court, the committees that are formed,
Secondary.
secondary committees that are subservient and feed issues up to the quorum court. You know, I always wondered why there's no discussion at the quorum court. Just like, you know, it comes before the quorum court, they vote on it, and it's a done deal. It's like, okay, where's all the discussion on this? Well, most of that happens at the committee meetings or subcommittee meetings, if you will. You know, that's where the issues originate. That's where all the discussion is, and it goes back and forth. And normally it's multiple meetings. You know, they have multiple meetings before a decision is made to forward that up to the court. And once I started going to those committee meetings, it's like, okay, yeah, things got a lot clearer for me. but still, you know, I mean, there's a whole bunch that goes on to, you know, it outlines basically what the judge can do, what the JPs do, and all of the whole thing. So if someone hasn't seen that or isn't familiar with that, you know, they could reach me, you know, call me or email me, and I'd certainly be try to help them get a copy of it because it's online at the Association of County Government.
How about, maybe you can describe for us, what are the responsibilities of a justice of the peace? Are you, I mean, it sounds like you're gonna take care of justice. Can you fix my tickets, or what's, give us an overview of what
No,
a JP does.
mainly you can marry somebody, you could do a funeral or stuff like that, but you're not gonna, you know, erase somebody's ticket or.
But you have to volunteer to be, you know, certified to marry people. It's
Right.
my understanding so far that currently there's only one.
Right,
Dennis Frank is the only one that actually rogers up and says, yes, I'll marry people.
correct. I had one person call me, and I was actually out of town, and they wanted to get married that day. And so I referenced them to my son, and he was out of town too, so that didn't work.
So did they ever get married?
I don't know.
That's not your part of your responsibilities, eh?
Yeah, exactly. But I did learn a lot, you know, even campaigning and stuff. You know, you talk about JPs and their responsibilities and so forth. But when you talk to a lot of people, they don't realize they can call their JP. They didn't know what a JP even was.
And they don't know whose there are.
Right, they didn't know
You know-
what district, even though they get a voter's registration card, they didn't know what, you know, district they were in,
Yep.
who their JP was. They knew the county judge, but that's about all they knew.
What's a typical call?
It can range from roads, drainage from water, and just people just wanting to talk.
Okay, what committees are you on?
I'm on environmental, and I'm on the building committee, and to be honest with you, I'm on one more that hasn't met in probably 10 years. So
Oh, my gosh. Well,
Which one's that?
I can't even remember the name of it. I got it sitting on the desk at the house, but
Yeah,
I mean, it's like the economic development. Or not the economic, the environmental, I'm sorry,
Environmental,
environmental. I think the last time it met was like in 2013, and we had that meeting
Yeah.
about a month ago.
So whenever an issue
Whenever it comes up,
comes
an
up
issue comes up,
that
and
needs to
then-
be addressed,
Yeah, and we can come up with an agenda, and then we bring it to the county judge, and then he determines, and we go forth from there.
So, and I think because the environmental committee, it had been so long since it last met, I think y'all had to elect new officers, and I think you got stuck with, think
I
you
got
got
the
chosen
chair.
as the chair.
Yes, sir. Which I don't mind.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
That took a nasty turn for you, didn't it?
Well, it was all right. It's
Yeah.
a learning. It's a learning curve.
Yeah.
The more you sit in different places, you learn a lot.
Certainly, absolutely.
And I did learn, you know,
Mm-hmm.
what to do and what not to do. And,
yeah, it's like any business, you know, any typical
but I mean, it's
type
a
of business.
learning, you know. And then I'll throw this out there: if you are going to campaign, and whoever is running, doesn't matter who, make sure you know where you're going to put your signs. Stay off the right of ways. State's got a big right of way; they will take your signs,
Yes, they will.
and you can go get them, but they'll tell you don't put them back there. And it's 2 months before the election, you can start putting out the signs. So I think it's January 3rd or 4th in the city. You can start putting out signs. County, it doesn't really matter, but the city it does.
Yeah, the county is a lot more lenient on that. I don't think there's any specific regulation county-wise,
Correct.
you know?
But now you're expected to go pick those signs up, is that right?
You got a week afterwards in the city.
Is it a week or 5 days?
Well, 5 days. I call it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
5 days.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's,
And
So-
when you're putting up signs, and I've done it too, be careful and get off the road and let traffic by.
Yeah, well, if you're running for office, you don't want to anger a potential voter.
Exactly
So,
right. Then they see your sign and they say, "Yeah, I know him."
yeah, he's in my way. I'm not voting for him.
he caused my wreck, it totaled my truck.
Yes.
Scared a bunny out of the road, and I had to swerve.
So, you know, one of the best ways to do that is number one, you're probably going to be talking to the people that live in certain, in their houses, okay? So talk to them and see if they're willing to put one in your yard, you know,
Correct,
and
yes.
support you that way. That way, there's no mistakenly putting it in somebody
Yeah, so
else's
you-
place or in a place that's not authorized.
Yeah. And if you're putting them on the state, you can call down to the State Department here in Mount Home, and you can ask them, let's say, if I'm gonna be on 9th Street or Highway 5 or 62, and they'll tell you the right-of-ways, the width of the right-of-way. So, I mean, they're really lenient about that, and they're willing to work with you.
They don't mind you putting them up, they just want you to put them in the right place.
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
Can you describe for us what, like, I don't know, the different branches of government, how that, you know, locally, I mean, what the legislative, that's you guys, right?
Right.
You're legislative, and what else do we have?
Well, Judge Liddy is the executive
Executive.
branch.
Executive branch,
And then, of course, the prosecutor, that would be the judicial around here, you know, that'd be the closest.
Yeah,
If
okay.
if you're trying to equate it to the federal system, then that would be the closest you
Yeah,
could
for
do it
this,
there.
for this episode, I'm looking for JP.
Yeah, we're
What-
just mainly legislative. We'd just sit on the bench and we'd hear the resolutions or,
Now,
Yeah.
how does a resolution come about? Can I, call my JP and say, hey,
you gotta go through the county judge on that one.
okay,
Well-
so the county,
Yeah, he does, we don't even, basically, I don't know until I sit down a week before, 5 days before the meeting, that's when we get the agenda. And that's when we read it, and they've already been through it, and they came up with it.
so if I,
But
go ahead.
the judge sets the agenda, but that could be, if you know, if you've got an issue out there where you live that needs, well, let's just say, a few months back, y'all passed I believe it was an ordinance, not a, well, maybe it was a resolution, I thought it was an ordinance about the medians, you know, the right-of-ways, to where you expanded it and set the right-of-ways along county roads in Baxter County.
Yes, sir.
Now, you know, you could call and say, I got this problem here, you know, that, you know, once you report it, then they may take a look at that and say, okay, yeah, we need to do this, we need to change this, you know. Then they determine whether it's gonna be a resolution or an ordinance. There's a difference between the two. And I don't mean to be
No, that's
stealing
it.
your,
No,
your thunder.
No, you're
Okay,
doing.
this is what I learned, you know, reading the book, is,
Yeah.
okay? If it's gonna be basically a law, if you will,
Right.
it's an ordinance. An ordinance has to be read 3 times before the public in order for it to pass as an ordinance. A resolution only has to be read once. For instance, each month, they do resolutions to take money from the general ledger and allocate that to the sheriff's department or to the jail or to whoever. Those are resolutions. They only need to be read one time, and then it's voted on, and if it passes, then it's a done deal. That's basically, for the most part, basically what you'd consider housekeeping things. It's just moving money around, you know, paying bills and doing things like
Right.
that. But if it's a law that goes into effect, then it's an
Read
ordinance.
3 times.
And then Judge Liddy is also authorized to do executive orders. That's where he's just, by his executive authority as the chief executive of the county, he can write an ordinance like he did with the
side-by-sides,
side-by-sides,
UTVs,
yeah, UTVs on county roads, county highways. So that's basically the 3 different main things here.
Well, what I'm trying to get at is, you know, like for something that becomes law, specific, more is what I'm interested in right now. How do these possible laws, where do they originate? Do you have any?
That's really hard to tell a lot of times.
Can you
It's
can
like
you
the-
offer something up like that?
Yeah,
or-
no, you can write something up and you can hand it to the judge, and he can go through it, and he can read it, and he can tell you one way or the other. It's kind of like the executive order that they did. That's the first one they've done here, and there's no telling when.
Yeah.
And that come from, I think, the Association of Counties. I think that's where that came from.
Okay, so if I had some legislation I wanted to push
You would-
countywide
You would write it up and you would bring it in and.
to the judge?
To the judge, yes.
Okay, okay.
Or prosecuting attorney.
Yeah, you know, if you took it to the judge, he's gonna have it reviewed for legality. He'll probably take it to Etheridge, David Etheridge, or someone in the county attorney's office and say, need you to look at this, see
Okay,
what
so
we need to do to meet the legal parameters of it.
So the early process does not involve JPs?
No, it does not,
Okay.
no.
You know,
Okay,
The only thing that really involves JPs is your committee meetings that you do and the public. Listening to the public is a big thing. And, you know, you bring it to the county judge or bring it to, let's say, if me and you are court members, we would actually talk, somebody called me out of your district because you were out of town, I'd give you a call later and say, hey, look, you got a problem over here if you want to go take a look at it.
okay,
And then you would bring that to the county judge.
okay.
you know, and then you know, another thing that the JPs kind of interface with, you know, is like all the different rural fire districts, you know, because each district has fire departments in it and stuff. So all the rural areas, like out in Hand Cove where we live, okay, District 3, okay, what they do is they have to submit, you know, for the commission, the commissioners out there, they have to submit those. And those go to the judge, and then the judge, and normally they're submitted by the fire chief for that firehouse. And they submit that, his recommended person for each position on the board of commissioners there for that fire district. And then they're voted on by all the JPs, you know, thumbs up, thumbs down, or whatever. And that's also because the you know, the JPs are out there in the community and stuff, so hopefully they're familiar with their fire districts. I would hope so.
Okay. Well, what else do we have? Anything
Well, it's just
earth-shattering?
being a JP, and, you know, you can make some enemies and you can make some friends. You know, you're not gonna make everybody happy, you know, but you try to compromise, you know, with an issue, with, you know, and a JP is only 1 out of 11.
Yeah.
So when you bring something to the court or bring it to the judge, you can't change nothing. It takes a group effort to change anything. So, I mean, and that's very important.
Well, do you have a philosophy that guides you as far as how you're gonna vote on any issue?
Well, you gotta read it and discover it, and you bring it, if it, you know, like Russ was talking about, like the sheriff's department, them are kinda easy ones because you're just moving money back and forth. But if it's an issue and you think it needs to go to some of your people, you need to make a meeting with your district. Whatever, I'm in District 7, I try to contact somebody and get something going and get what they say. And a lot of times they change my mind. I vote against myself.
That's the answer
And
I was looking
that's a
for.
hard thing to do,
Yeah,
you know, but it happens.
but you work for the people.
Right, the
That's-
people voted me in, and that's what I'm gonna work for.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear.
And I'll
Okay.
listen to anybody,
Gotta have an open mind at least.
yes.
So what do you have? Where do you want to go in the future for your next
Adventure?
adventure, if you will, or
Well,
you know,
this
if you're
quorum-
reelected, where would
just-
you like to see the quorum court go?
I'd just like to see us work together and in the issues and stuff and work at matter and have discussions. I really would. And I would make things easier when you bring it out in the open. We're not all gonna get along, but we can walk away friends and shake hands and come to an agreement. And I think that's very important.
Sometimes you just have to agree to disagree.
Correct.
But if you can have an open dialogue about it and
Yep.
discuss it, open dialogue, that always brings out many different points that no matter which side you're on, that you may not have thought about before. You
Right.
know, so if you can't discuss it, you're not going to get that discovery of those other points.
Right. And I think you lose a lot of respect when you don't discuss things.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't get the issue out there because a lot of times it's just a misunderstanding.
Well, and I think it's good, and it's really, in a sense, you owe it to the public to have these conversations.
Right.
Out in the open,
Correct.
so we can get some input.
I I agree totally.
What do you think we could do to get more participation from the citizens of Baxter County at the quorum court?
Well, for one, a lot of people don't know that they can speak. That's the biggest thing. And knowing their quorum court member, just as long as, we're talking, and bring the issue to him and, or her. And if they need to speak or want to speak, get on the agenda. I think you got to send the emails, so, if you want to speak for so long, and the judge will okay it or not okay it.
Well, first of all, and I agree, but first of all, I would say educate yourself on whatever it is you want to speak about.
Right.
Make sure that you're, I've been going to the quorum court Tuesday night, last Tuesday night was the first quorum court I've missed in almost 2 years. Simply because I had another meeting I had to be at. But educate yourself on what you're going to speak about.
What issues on the table.
What the issue is, okay?
Correct.
The second thing is, whatever you're going to say it with respect.
Yep.
Do not come across as antagonistic or argumentative. You can ask questions, and oftentimes asking questions in a venue like that forces the quorum court members to provide you with the answer. Then you can discuss that answer or alternatives, if you will. But if you automatically go up there and start trying to, complain is one thing, but if you complain about something, you ought to also have a solution.
Well,
that's what I always told my guys in the Navy. If you come to me with a problem, I also want a solution. But be respectful. That's the number one thing that I've learned watching all the discussions at all these meetings around here, be it school board, quorum court, whatever it is be respectful. The people are there, and for the most part, I really think that everyone's trying to do the right thing and do a good job.
correct.
And if you are disrespectful to them, don't expect them to be respectful to you.
I always got a saying, you treat people the way you want to be treated.
Exactly.
And that's a big issue right there. And there's some people that get a little hot underneath the collar. And
What do you think? I know last year we moved the time from 6 p.m. until 5:30 p.m. Originally, they wanted to move it from 6 to 5, like the city council. Now, the businesses, most of the local businesses here close at 5.
correct.
That does not give people, in my opinion, adequate time to get to the quorum court. The argument has always been they don't come anyway. Well, you're at least affording them the opportunity to get there if you have it at 6. Now, are they going to show up? Probably not.
Right.
But at least you're affording them an opportunity to get there. Would you be for moving it back to 6?
I've talked to a lot of people, and they do not like the 5:30. I'm retired, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Same here.
But I would be in favor to move it to 6 o'clock. And the people that I talk to, they mainly explain just what you explained. They can't make it home fast enough. They get off at 5, get home at 5:30, or 20 after 5. They can't change clothes. They don't want to go,
Pick up kids from school, blah, blah, blah,
Correct.
all that good stuff.
And would it make a difference? It might.
Well, I also get the argument, some quorum courts meet at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right, they meet
Okay?
all times of the day.
Okay, we're not somebody else.
Right.
We don't care what the other counties do.
Yep.
We're concerned with Baxter County, and my goal is to try to get as much citizen participation as possible so that we can all work together with our elected officials to make sure that Baxter County is the best county we can make it, period.
Yeah, I agree totally. It's like all the other meetings, and people say, well, why is it at 8? Why is it at 9? Why is at 10 o'clock? And quorum court, we don't have nothing to do with it. I mean, I don't anyway. I can suggest, and that's about all I can do.
Well, I know, some of the quorum court members are still working. They're
Yep.
not all retired.
Right.
And I know that it impacts them oftentimes, you know, and they have to schedule meetings that their work schedule will accommodate. I understand that. But I also firmly believe that the citizens come first.
Right.
It's incumbent upon the quorum court, if at all possible, to accommodate the citizens of Baxter County and make it convenient for them to be there, if at all possible.
Correct.
Yeah, I have to agree with that 100%. Another thing with getting people to come to quorum court, and I don't have the solution to this necessarily, but they don't know what it is.
No, they don't.
They don't know what it is. A lot of people hear quorum court, they think there's a judge there, and if they're not careful, they're going to jail that day.
Yeah.
Or they're going to have to pay a ticket. And
They don't want to be around any law enforcement
Yeah.
or judge.
yeah, and I'll be honest, I didn't know what it was when I first came here. Quorum court, what's
Yeah.
that?
I gotta explain what the county judge is to.
Yeah, the
a
same
lot
thing
of- They think he's a sitting judge. And
Yeah,
it's,
there's a
no,
judge,
there's not gonna be court.
A
there's
judge
not-
in a
Yes.
court? Oh my gosh.
He is the chief executive
Executive.
of the county.
Right.
Just like the CEO of a company.
Yep.
And, you know, and the JPs are basically the department heads for that company.
Well, like I explained, I said, it's kinda like the mayor in the city and their councilman. That's what we are. He's just
the county.
judge and we're JPs instead of councilmen and he's judge instead of mayor.
Is there a requirement for the quorum court to set out a monthly notice of these meetings?
Yes.
For us,
Well, for the meetings.
The court, all meetings,
All
all
public?
meetings to be held by the government, including school board, quorum court, or even the individual subcommittees, are required to be announced to the public minimum of 24 hours prior to.
and
Okay.
it comes from the courthouse. It doesn't,
Okay.
the JPs don't have nothing to do with
That
it.
is a state law.
Yes.
Okay, but, so that does take place.
Yeah, and you can do an emergency meeting with so many hours and that so forth, but that's
Okay.
never really.
And if you want to get to see the agenda for the quorum court, you talk to Candace Reese, the county and circuit clerk in the courthouse. You give her your email address. She will put you on her mailing list, and you will get the agenda for the quorum court the very same time that the JPs get it. I know because I get mine. I get
Correct.
it every single month.
Yep, sure do.
Well, that being said, do you have a contact number for you, for your constituents?
I have several in my district
Did you,
that I call and talk about issues.
no, I mean numbers that they can
What's
call
your
you?
phone number?
Oh, yeah, my phone number, yeah,
You wanna
mine's
give that out.
870-706-7619, and I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm more than glad to talk to someone.
And that's also for people that want to support you as a candidate running
Correct.
for,
If
okay.
you want to support me as a candidate,
And that number was what?
870-706-7619.
Do you have an email?
It's rjnault61@gmail.com.
And that's KNAULT.
No, sir, it is N-A-U-L-T. N as in Nancy, N-A-U-L-T.
I knew that. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
you
make
want
sure
to,
you.
and a lot of people put a K in it, trust me, and they forget the 61. But I think it's a good idea to have contact numbers where people can call you, and
Exactly.
you call them, you got some key people in your area that are good, like in your area, you know, they could call Han Cove in your area, and you could get some people together if there's an issue out there to talk about.
Well, they to call me. I'll tell
Yeah,
you
you're
that
the number,
much.
yeah. But I mean,
have-
it's good to discuss it.
Okay, well, I think as far as I'm concerned, that's all I need for this
Yeah,
session.
Okay,
I don't
that
have
sounds great.
anything else.
Did you have anything you'd like to add before we?
No, just, I appreciate your vote. If you need to call and talk, ask me some issues or want to talk over something, I'd be more than glad to talk to you.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Well, are we gonna end this podcast here shortly? Okay, let's quickly go over some upcoming events. We have, the Saturday the 15th, you wanna discuss that?
Yeah, Saturday the 15th, we're having the Baxter County Republican Committee is sponsoring a Meet the Candidates dinner. All the candidates have been invited to come and speak. Saturday night at 6 o'clock, November the 15th.
Open
At the
to the
Elks
public.
Lodge, at the Elks We still have 8 or 10 tickets left for the event. It's the $40 per ticket. You can call 619-597-0052, and I'll be glad to take your reservation. Or you can call 870-404-6865, and Jay Sabella will take your
And if you
reservation.
can, I don't know if you can see this for the phone number, so you don't have to remember it.
It's on our Facebook page also.
And that is, and we also have a webpage, BaxterGOP.com, I believe it is.
That's correct.
Do you have anything else?
That's all I got.
Okay, let's quickly, Quorum Court meets first Tuesday.
December, it's gonna be the Monday, first Monday,
Okay, December will be the first Monday,
and I believe it's the first.
and,
I don't got my calendar together.
but normally it's first Tuesday, 5:30 PM. Is this one gonna be at 5:30
This is gonna be at 5:30.
at the courthouse?
Yes, sir.
Okay. City Council meets first and third Thursday at 5 PM at City Hall. City Planning Committee, second Monday, 1 PM, City Hall. County Planning Committee, second Tuesday, 11 AM, Baxter County Courthouse. And that's all we've got right now. So
Okay,
welcome, or I mean, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you next week, same time.
Thank you, guys.